Hiya! Welcome to LSB Feasters radio channel, where we keep great radio from the past alive. Today we're going to feature one of my favorite personalities. His name, Frankie Hollywood Crocker. He became a legend in R&B radio and spent many years in New York radio. He started out in Buffalo, where he was on the air till eventually he made his way to New York at 1600 WWRL. After a stretch there, he went over to become a top 40 jock at WMCA in New York. But when they changed format to talk, he needed a new gig and moved over eventually to WLIB-AM and FM. And Frankie was instrumental into rebranding WLIB-FM into WBLS, which is still an R&B powerhouse to this day. WBLS launched in 1972, and Frankie Crocker was its main architect. And he was rolling along until he ran into some legal issues and had to leave the air for a while, but came back in 1979, spent much of his career there, actually had a couple of different tours of duty at WBLS, and then eventually at the end of his career, he went over to 98.7 KISS. Frankie is the guy who is known for coining the phrase urban contemporary, which was used for throughout the 80s, 90s, and 2000s for R&B radio. Frankie passed on in 2000, but while he was programming in New York, man, he was a sharp programmer, kept tight rotations, and had a really big flamboyant personality. Was even known just to make scenes when he would go out in the club scenes around New York. One time, even coming to the club on a big white horse. Seriously, he did that. Anyway, if you never heard him, here's your chance to check him out. It's Frankie, the Chief Rocker Crocker, on 107.5 WBLS, New York.
It's the Frankie Crocker Show.
Do it, Frankie. Do it to it.
Because the rap is definitely sweet. But be cool, young girl. Don't let your eyes and your ears get your mind so messed up. You desire something your heart and your young body just can't stand. This is Frankie Crocker. And when Frankie Crocker isn't on your radio isn't really on. But like they say, often imitated, but never quite duplicated. This is Sutton in stereo. Life is what you make it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frankie Crocker from WBLS. Needless to say, we play the best music in town. And the beat goes on. 10 minutes past 4, and a good afternoon to you and yours. 57 degrees out of doors, and it's sunny, honey, so bask in it. Let the music take your mind. Enjoy yourself. Buddy Miles and Life is What You Make It from WBLS in New York with yours truly, Frankie Crocker, as we do it to it. We kicked off with a thing called Milestones, written, of course, by Miles Davis from an album that I'm sure you'll dig, the big band sound of one of the big greats. Then we cut into Buddy Miles' Life is What You Make It. And next will be Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. But first, this commercial word.
The Fournier Grego Performing Arts Center wants you to
Express yourself. 852-0036.
Don't forget, get on it right away. That telephone number once again is 852-0036.
When kindness is the wine for aperitif or when you dine by Monsieur Henri Wines Limited, New York.
Thank you very much there, brother. Hey, have yourself the best aperitif for dinner wine there is. The original Wincarnis from England is now at any fine store in New York. Check him out. You'll be more than glad you did. From the album Flying High Together, the total black experience and sound, WBLS, where the music is. Theme from Love Story, Where Do I Begin?
There is no...
The new album, Cherry, Stanley Turrentine, Milt Jackson, Lee Morgan's Locomotion. From WBLS, this is the best.
Frankie Crocker.
Ronnie Dyson.
And Percy Sutton.
You better believe it. As a public service, WBLS would like to remind you that politicians will never listen to young people unless they're registered to vote. That's right. Now, New York City voter registration is happening right now. You can register from noon until 6 p.m. through this Friday outside every subway express stop in Manhattan and the Bronx. Now, you've got the right to vote. Let's register and use that right. If there's something you don't like, there's one way to change it. That's to exert yourself. From Frankie Crocker on Stereo in Black, we ease into the Temptations. Papa was a rolling stone. It's all good, because that's the way that Frankie Crocker planned it on WBLS.
This is your love, man.
Ed Castleberry, Washington, Mutual Black Network News.
Frankie Crocker.
From Colin McRae's Go. Stereo in Black. Double Go.
Our day will come.
WBLS New York. Stereo in Black. Where you hear Sly and the Family, John Coltrane, Buddy Mott, Roberto Isaac, Marvin Gaye, Cannonball, Errol Gardner, Miles, The Impression, Freddie Hubbard, Isley Brothers, James Cleveland, Wilson Pickett, Pharaoh Son, King Curtis, Wes Montgomery, Billy Preston, Flip Wood, Jackson Crosby, Dionne Warwick, Gloria Lynn, Al Green, Stevie Wonder. All happening now on Stereo in Black. WBLS, the total black experience in sound. 107.5 in stereo.